Okay, so let's go through how we're actually going to track the people who opt into our ad, and for those who do, how we can follow up with them. So there's two processes here. There's a manual way, which is going to be time consuming, but you can totally do it. Or two, what I recommend is we use something called Zapier, which will automate this process for us. So how we do this is once you have your ad form, you'll notice that there's no like form area here. So what we have to do is we have to go to our page. So what we'll have to do is go to Facebook, and I'm going to just pull up normal Facebook, and we're going to search for our page. So you need to go to your page. So I think I use this one, Back Relief Charleston is what I think. And we need to click on our page. And you'll notice down here on the left side, there's a button called Publishing Tools. So we need to click on that. And assuming Facebook opens this, you'll notice that down on the left column, there's this thing called Lead Ads Forms. So we want to click on that. And I must have used a different form. So let's just say that this was our, we're just going to assume, okay, so your form will be here. It'll say, this should say November 2020, whatever form that you're going to use. And just to make sure it's the right one, you can preview it, and it's, you can check it out. So it's already been submitted, so it's good. Doesn't need to worry about it. But what you're going to do is, it'll tell you leads counted. So when new leads come in, it'll pop up here. Now, the only problem is you don't get notified on Facebook when new leads come in. This is a big problem because it may be, if you don't remember to check this once a day, you could go days without realizing that you had leads come in. So if you're going to do it this way and not use Zapier, which I'm going to show you in a minute, which is I think $25 a month, then you need to manually come in and check this every day. And so how we do this is you would click download leads, and it'll say choose by date range. I recommend date range and going lifetime. This will pull in everyone that has come in. We'll click download, and it'll say, hey, how do you want to download? So CSV or an XLS. What I recommend is XLS. It'll pull in the lead information. Let's click this. And if you look, it has all this like stuff that doesn't show anything. But if we go over to the right, it'll say full name. So this is a test dummy. It would have someone's name, their email, and their phone number. And so what we'd be able to do is follow up with them here. Okay, I would get their name. I'd put their email into our email system, and I would text them, hey, thank you so much for opting in for our workshop. Just want to remind you that the workshop is on the 18th. Do you have any questions before we get started, before the day of the workshop? Or, hey, thank you so much for opting in for my discovery call. When would be a good time to get you scheduled on the books? That's how we would follow up with them. So your job would be that you would need to come check this at least once a day. I would say probably once every 2 hours, you would come in and check for new leads, because speed is critical. How fast you can respond to these people helps with compliance rate of showing up to workshops, for getting them onto calls, or getting them to come into your office and take you up on an offer. So that's one way to do this. Now, what I recommend for you is to use something called Zapier. So if you go to zapier.com, and if you look at pricing, so you can use Zapier for free for most things. However, to use the Facebook lead ads form, we need a premium account, so a starter account. And what we would want to do is, I think we can change this to, that's what we want. You can do this. So it's either 20 bucks a month if you do it annually. I don't recommend annually. I recommend spending $25 as a part of your ad cost to use this for a month if you're going to do it, because it'll save you so much time. And so I have an account like this. I just want to show you what the inside is like and what we can do with this. So when you sign up for a Zapier account, it's kind of confusing, but what it does is it connects software. And so what we can do is do this. I can go and I can create a Zap. And what I can do is tell Zapier, hey, can you speak to Facebook? So when Facebook has a new lead, click continue. You need to connect your Facebook account. So it'll say like, hey, add new account. It'll pull up Facebook. It'll ask you to log into Facebook. I'm already in, so it's going to just pull mine up immediately. Then it's going to say, hey, what page should we look for leads from? And I'm going to say mine was, I think it was Back Pain Relief Charleston. It's going to say which form. And I'm going to say sample form for Avi's clinic. That's the one we're going to say that I made. It'd be the November 2020 workshop one for you, or whichever one you're doing. You're going to choose that form and you're going to click continue. It's a test trigger, and it's going to see if there's ever been anyone's name or email put in so far. And so you'll notice it doesn't have, it just has test name, test email, test phone number. But the cool thing is it will automatically pull in that information, and we're going to tell it what to do. We're going to tell Zapier how to let us know immediately. So it's going to be checking. So Zapier is going to be running all the time, looking for new leads that come in through Facebook. And what it does is I can then say to do whatever I want after. And so what I'm going to do is first is, hey, Zapier, can you send me an email immediately with that leads information? So I can say, hey, I want this sent to will@willboyd.com or willboydpt.com. And a new lead from ad. And I can say, hey, Will, so this, I'm sending this to myself. So, hey, Will, a new workshop lead from ad. And then what I can do is put in their name. I can put in their email, and I can put in their phone number. And I could say, please, or I could just, for me, I don't need to know, but you might remind yourself, follow up with this person immediately. And so I'm just going to create a name that this is from, Will Boyd Marketing. And I don't need a reply to or anything like that. This is just me sending this to me. So when anytime there's a new lead that comes in through Facebook, Zapier will automatically catch it and say, ooh, I got it. And it's going to send me an immediate email with this message. Hey, Will, new workshop. It's going to send me an email to this email address, this subject line, saying, hey, Will, new workshop lead from ad. Here's their name, email, and phone number. Then what I would do is I would follow up with them with an email or text. And I'll show you how we can add these into like an email marketing system as well. So I'm going to click continue. Let's say that, hey, I don't check my email that often. So what I can do, I can test and continue. It's going to say, hey, nothing happened. Totally fine. I can add another step, and I can add as many steps as I want. So let's say I want to send a text, and this doesn't cost me any money outside of my normal $25 a month for Zapier. And let's say I want to send myself a text message. Well, I'm going to choose my number. You would add your number here. So you add account. It says, hey, click your number. You want to be by your phone. It'll send you a digit or a 4-digit code or 6-digit code. And you just type it in, click send pen, click yes, and continue. And your phone number will be activated. And so I'm going to choose my number. And I can do the same thing. So I'm going to choose a number. This is just the number that your message is going to be sent from. So this is only going to you. So I could say like 22, random number, 224-757. I'm going to say, hey, Will, new lead, FB ad. And I'm just going to have it now texted to me as well as emailed to me. So I'm going to go and find their name, get their email, get their phone number. And I'm going to now send this to my phone. I'll show you here in just a second. You might not be able to see this, but it says, whoops. Hey, Will, new lead from FB ad, blah, 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 name, email, phone number, right? Which is awesome. So I've got their name, phone number, and email that I can call them immediately if I wanted to. So I can get an immediate text on my phone. Then lastly, let's say, oh, well, you know, I really want to put them into an email, like into my email list. So I could go and say, like, I use ActiveCampaign, but whoops, but it could go with, but it could go with MailChimp or Infusionsoft or anything like that. And I'm going to go, let's see, we want to, let's say create update contact. So I'm going to click continue. And I'm going to choose my ActiveCampaign account for you. You just want to log into your ActiveCampaign account here, or MailChimp or whatever you have. If you don't know how to do this, just Google, like, how do I find my, or you go into YouTube and say, how do I find my ActiveCampaign API and key? And you'll be able, there's tutorials on how to do that. So I'm just going to choose mine. Click continue. Then it's going to say, hey, what list do you want to add them to? So I would make a list in my ActiveCampaign so I could add people to it. For this one, I'm just going to say FB Ads Workshop, for example. I'm going to grab their email, and then I'm going to grab their name, so full name. And if you want to add a tag, you can. If you want to add their phone number, you can. So you could go and get their phone number. Click continue. So now, anytime a new lead comes in, this is why it's just so worth $25 a month, because if, let's say you get 10 leads in a month and you're able to follow up with all of them immediately within like 5 minutes and at the best, and let's say even at the worst within 24 hours, you being able to get their information quick and reach out to them is totally worth $25, assuming you can get 1 out of 10 into a paying client. So I'm going to click test and continue. The last thing I need to do is I'm just going to name this. So I'm going to say lead ad form. And then the very last thing is I need to actually turn this on so it will start working. And now, anytime someone clicks on my ad once it's approved and puts in their name, email, and phone number, so I'll just show you how this would work. Let's go pull this up. So if I want to preview this, if I want to preview the ad, I can go back to my ads manager. I can go on the ad level. So let me just show you real quick. So you want to go to the actual ad level itself. And let's say I want to see this ad. I click edit and go up here to this little preview button. I can go to Facebook post with comments. I can see what the actual ad will look like. So this is what will actually pop through people's feeds. Oh, that's why I got it wrong. Back relief help page. So, hey, Carnegie friends, sick and tired of back pain, blah, 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 blah. So let's go through it here. Reserve a seat for online back pain workshop. Cool. So I'm going to put in my name, Will Boyd, will at willboydmarketing.com. And then I'm going to type in my phone number. And you'll see what happens. So terms and conditions, yep. Okay, so it's saying there's a problem mainly because it's not published yet. The ad isn't published yet. But if we go here, and this may not work since it's a test, but once this happens, now I should get an automated text message from Zapier here normally once the ad is published that says new lead, name, email, and phone number. And that is how we set up an ad campaign using Facebook lead ads. So we don't have to use things like ClickFunnels or lead pages or creating your own crazy landing pages on websites. We can do it all through Facebook. And again, if you don't want to use Zapier, just check if you go back to your page, the way that you do this is you go to your page, to your actual Facebook page. So you just want to click on your page, go down to Publishing Tools. Okay, you go to Publishing Tools. On the left-hand column, it'll say Leads Ad Library or Lead Ads Forms. You want to click that button and be able to go to choose your form. So lead ads forms, you're going to make sure you're on the right form. You should probably only have one. Click download. You're going to go sort by date range, and you're going to make sure it says lifetime, and then download, and then do the XLS file. Pull up. And then you can scroll over and see name, email, and phone number of those who have opted in. So that's how you set up your campaigns. That's how you do this for a small business. And again, the key thing is following up with people. So either emailing them or giving them a phone call or text message as quickly as you can. I really recommend within 10, 15 minutes if possible. If not, as soon as you can, you just want to message them, hey, thank you so much for opting in for our ad. Is there a good time to get you on our schedule? Is there a good time that I can call you? Those would be the best things to do. And I hope this helps as you're setting up your ad campaigns.